go. Here we 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 go.
Welcome back to Salute, as we salute the men and women who wore and are still wearing the U.S. military uniform. I am, of course, Joe Ugly.
I'm Shakiria. Guys, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And also head over to Fanbase and show us some love.
Hit that heart.
All right, so in the midst of there's a lot going on, right? There's so much going on. But what I wanted to touch base on first was the military parade that...
The big birthday parade?
Yeah, well, coincidentally, it's the Army's birthday parade, but it just so happens that it falls on Trump's birthday at the same time. Coincidence, right? So, yeah, so at first when I heard the news, I was like, no way. This is not North Korea. We're not going to do this. We're not
Russia.
China. Right,
China.
we're not doing this.
Right.
And then when I heard like, oh, yeah, it could cost up to $90 million, I was like, people can't afford food. They have to put their meals on Klarna. I don't think we should be spending $90 million on a military parade. But some research, it seems like it is going to happen.
Now, according to Doge, they got the money they needed, or they're close. Oops.
I don't know, Doge. This seems like this is some waste of money going on.
Waste, fraud, and abuse.
Exactly.
Full onslaught.
So the Army is the one handling it, technically, because it's the Army's birthday celebration, right? That's what they're running with.
I feel an infiltration.
So 6,700 soldiers will be flying into D.C. They'll be staying in 2 federal buildings. We got 150 tanks getting shipped from Texas that we don't even know if it will affect the road and damage.
Well, that's what I'm getting ready to say. The mayor of D.C. needs to make sure that she gets a budget to fix her roads after.
According to the Army, spokesperson said they don't think it'll damage the road, but if it does damage the roads, we'll just fix it.
You know what it's like to have a whole bunch of tanks rolling down the damn road? I would be
No, I
surprised
don't
those
live in
tracks.
North Korea.
Oh, I've seen them in the military.
Yeah,
You know,
they're not
see-
meant for regular roads. There's
They're
a
not.
reason we don't do them on regular
exactly. You
roads.
put them on dirt roads. So,
Exactly,
the
right.
tracks. Oh man, if we throw a track in the middle of this nonsense, oh my God.
It will be done right in front of the White House, so I'm not gonna say it's not gonna happen because there's no thought that goes into this stuff. He wants a parade to make himself feel like he's one of the big boys in the oligarchy situation. So he's gonna have this, and they're just tying. Well, this is what they said. So this is their response to the Army deserves this parade, right? He goes, it's a lot of money, but I think the amount of money is dwarfed by the 250 years of service and sacrifice that American soldiers have given to this country.
Whatever happened to what's in it for them?
So here's the thing, right? If you want to do this and give back to the Army and celebrate 250 years, because it's a big deal, why don't you give that to the people in the Army?
Too easy.
I feel like they could use a good pay increase, probably better barracks, what I mean? Probably a good time to spend with their family.
Come on, you're talking about doing things with sense. Come on, what's wrong with you?
Instead,
daughter.
they get to go
I thought you
sleep
knew
on
better.
cots in a federal building.
Oh, you want
and
air
get
mattresses?
MREs.
You want air mattresses? What is wrong with you? Are you
I mean,
crazy?
a hotel is DC.
A hotel?
Jesus
No.
Christ.
No. Sleep on the floor. You ain't out of the field, buddy.
In a federal building. Not even a hotel. Not even a hotel.
Now, here's the
That's
question.
crazy.
Is it a federal building that they seized during Doge
Probably.
operation?
Because what other ones would be available, right?
Oh,
what other
my
ones would be
goodness.
available? I don't
Now,
know.
is it the Veterans Affairs building?
That'll be
These
hilarious.
are all the questions that must be answered.
It didn't say. It just said they'll be staying in 2 federal buildings and they'll be getting MREs and hot chow in the evening. That's it. And $69 per day.
Oh, my
'cause why not?
God. Oh, my God. Well, in similar news, the U.S. military spent $6 billion in the last 3 years to recruit and retain troops. $6 billion.
But they're still at a shortage.
Here it is. It worked with all branches, but the Navy.
Oh, yeah, the Navy.
Navy, what is wrong with you?
nobody wants to be on a boat
There you
for
go.
4 years.
Exactly.
I think that's why.
Keeping you out there at sea.
Like, it's just no one wants to do that. Like, on a regular, most people will choose any other. Hell, the Coast Guard over them because they're not on boats that much.
I'm on the coast, baby.
Really? You're chilling literally on the coast until some drug dealer shit pops up. Like, that's really it.
And I got to follow them on land. But according to military.com, the Army spend hundreds of millions each year to recruit troops with programs such as Future Soldiers Prep Course. You ever heard of this?
Never heard of it.
This is a program that gives low-performing recruits up to 90 days to get their academic or fitness game up.
Okay, that's not a bad one.
No,
that's
it's not
bad.
really.
For
But
people
this
who
is
struggle with the ASVAB,
Right.
and if you're a little slow on the run,
And
okay,
look, not
not
everyone
bad.
can handle standardized testing.
No,
You know,
and it's not because you're dumb either. It's just
definitely
the
not.
ASVAB is just set up in a way that I don't even know how they got it together.
Standardized testing is designed to keep certain people in
Yeah.
certain spaces.
Right,
Okay?
exactly, yeah.
You want to see some people excel? Look at those who fail standardized testing the more.
Yeah.
And you realize those are the people who excel more because they're more focused on the action opposed to sitting and blowing through a test or not testing.
It's funny that you talk about it. So I was talking to some lady, and her son is trying to get into the military currently, and he was already in college. He does great. Grades are good, never anything. So she was saying that he took the ASVAB and he got a really low score. He was very surprised because he's like, I do good every other time. Right. But I had to let her know, like, the ASVAB is not a test to see how smart you are. It really is.
It really isn't.
You can't put like, oh, I'm dumb because I failed the ASVAB. I don't think that's a fair question. Because
totally not a fair question.
Half of the part where it's like the mechanical question.
Exactly.
Who the hell knows that?
Exactly.
On a 19-year-old kid coming out of high school, why would he know any of those mechanical questions? So automatically you're going to lose on that part because you don't know those answers.
Correct.
And that will reflect on your score. But I try to tell people who be like, oh, I got a low ASVAB score. It does not mean you're stupid. Trust me.
Don't mean you're stupid, but it does mean if you pass that baby, you're going to be a veteran like us.
Exactly. Really.
Do it.
I get it if you want a high score, better job opportunities. All of that matters, but like he has, apparently they have a program. Never heard of that program personally, but
oh no. And the reason why I brought that up is because, like you said, you never heard of that program. Guess what? That's one of the hush hushes.
Of course.
Oh,
to some people.
And there are, if you read further into it, there are incentives that goes with this program, like certain bonuses or something to that nature. I'm gonna go back and get the details on it because I was reading this and I was like, like we know someone who's going in. So I'm like, you know what?
I don't know.
You need to know the details about this.
That's so interesting to me. I wonder if it's just the Army or other branches. Because when you go to them and you fail or you don't get the score you want, they usually tell you, go on YouTube, or maybe the recruiter will host a little tutoring session. Or if somebody was smart in the office, they will just automatically become the little tutor.
And don't tell me, Mr. Recruiter, you don't know about this. I'm not buying that. It is called, if you want to get into the military, it's called a Future Soldiers Prep Course.
Future Soldiers Prep Course?
Yep.
Okay.
FSPC. Future Soldier Prep Course. And the military spends money. The Army spends money.
They spend money like, look how much they're spending for stupid.
There. So not only do we help veterans, not only do we help active duty, we're also helping those trying to get there.
Exactly.
Pay attention to what we do.
It's either you go in there willingly or they're going to make you go in there.
That's right.
Use what you got.
To subscribe.
We're covering all areas here.
Yes.
But anyway, so the parade is a go. June 14th is the date.
Yes.
All right, well, we'll watch out and see all of our money go to waste while people are freaking
starving. Literally.
Putting meals on Klarna, but hey, he deserves that.
On what?
Klarna.
What's that?
That's like that buy now, pay later app.
Are you serious?
Yes. Klarna is announced.
No, never mind what it is. I'm not going to give them prop, but I want to.
Yeah,
people
buy now, pay later.
Buy now, pay later for
It's
meals.
on DoorDash, Uber Eats, all of that.
Oh,
yeah.
Darn.
Yep. for groceries, for meals. So, but
you
a
were
parade
so
is what we need.
You were so concerned about your gas prices and grocery prices.
I know, right?
Damn,
That's
how you
tough.
like it now?
You voted for it, right? All right, guys. We're going to do something a little different. I usually do formation first, but there's a reason why I'm going to do hot topic first, because they tie into each other. So today's hot topic is
It'll not be about the army. You already crucified the army.
No, it's not about
The
the
army
army.
is putting on a parade that don't make sense.
They're crucifying themselves at that point.
You ain't lying. You know, I can't even defend the nonsense.
So this is from I don't even know if it's
That's
a
why
tweet.
they should have jumped up and said, no, we're the National Guard.
Really? That's what they should have did? So this
On
is
that
from
one day.
Yeah, that's true. This is from a tweet from Reddit, or I don't know what they call it, but whatever. It's from Reddit. So someone says, hey guys, I had a federal warrant for my arrest in 2021 that nobody told me about. It was out for 10 months and I got pulled over for not coming to a complete stop at a stop sign in some hick town. I was arrested. I was in jail for 3 days because the warrant was bogus and improper. The VA still made me pay back every penny of the 70% level benefits I received for 10 months while the warrant was out. That was over $17,000 the VA took from me. I filed for appeal immediately and I'm waiting for the judge. So my formation today is, what happens to your benefits if you go to jail?
But I thought that you can get... Oh, go ahead.
All right. So if you get in trouble, the VA disability compensation payments will be reduced if you're convicted of a felony and you're imprisoned for more than 60 days. Mm-hmm. If you're rated 20% or more, you're limited down to 10%. If you're rated at 10%, that payment gets cut in half. So whatever that amount is, right? Once you're released from prison, the payment will be reinstated from that point forward. Payments are not reduced for people in recipients in the work release program. So if you went to jail and go into a halfway house, you still get your benefits because, they see that as a rehabilitation issue. I don't know why that works, but so if you receive pension and you go to jail, so pension is obviously different from your disability, your payments will also be terminated effectively after this on the 61st day.
If you receive pension.
If you receive
your pension will be terminated.
Yes.
So you...
And if you're convicted of, in federal, state, local, whatever you're convicted of, it will be terminated of a felony or a misdemeanor. Your payments, again, will be resumed once you're released from prison and the VA deems you eligible again. Now, you can also get these benefits sent to your spouse or your kid. So if you get arrested and for whatever reason you have a child that has like special needs or your wife is sick, though I think they can work something out. They can work something out. It's not guaranteed that those benefits will instead of pausing, will just go to the child or your spouse. Also, your education benefits, if you're incarcerated, well, like I said, with a felony, not anything else, just a felony, you can still receive your full monthly benefits.
I'm going to just interject. I was recently at a veterans organization meeting, and one of the things came up from a legal group that is through, I believe it was Yale University, that said something a little different from what you just stated. So it's something like, look, I would suggest that you look into both how much you're going to lose, if you're going to lose, and how long you're going to lose.
Right. I got this directly from the VA, because when I came across the story, it became like, I've heard you do pause the benefits.
Right, that's what I heard. That's what this program was saying.
So it pauses, and then obviously you have that 60-day mark. So if you're only arrested, and they also, like, if it's just like you have to go in for a case, like go into the judge, you don't necessarily have to report it to the VA, but they will know anyways. But they won't pause it for that. Only if you're arrested and in jail for a certain period of time. And obviously, only if you're incarcerated in jail for that 60-day. That 61st day, that's when it goes crazy. So you don't have you have that 60-day, I guess, clearance period. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. But you do pause your benefits.
Wow. That was a lot of explanation. You might have to rewind that and go slow and then make the call to the VA. And then...
well, obviously you have all of that in the description box, but what you should know if you're convicted, because surprising a lot of people, veterans.
Also, producer, if you could put the link to the organization that give us that information, I'm quite sure they will be able to direct.
If they work with veterans.
That's what they do. Right. Yeah. It's an organization.
Also, I believe the DAV also works with veterans as well. If you need legal assistance and all that stuff, you know what I mean?
Right.
Just to make sure, mainly to make sure that when you get out, you get reinstated and, figure out what path, you need to take to get your benefits back.
Yeah, because I'm about to mess up. All right.
But yeah, that's pretty much it. So the 3 things to remember is you have 60 days. If you're arrested, 60 days. Your payments will pause. If you do not let them know, this is the big one, you will have to pay them back. Okay? Homeboy said they took 17 grand from him. Woo. You will have to pay them back. So 60 days, if you're incarcerated, you have to pause it. If you don't let them know, they'll take it back. And your benefits will restart once you're out of jail. And they have, like he said, the other legal agents, the VA has stuff for you, the DAV has stuff for you to kind of help you get situated back. If the halfway house is an option, I would recommend taking it because then you get your benefits and it's not as hard as if you go out by yourself.
That's DVA or DAV?
DAV. The Disabled American Veterans.
Oh, okay. I'm thinking
DAV.
Department of Veterans Affairs.
No, that's a separate thing. Totally. But yeah, they actually have lawyers working for them there.
Cool.
Not just for incarceration, for any legal issues that you may need. Yeah.
Cool.
But that's all I got for today.
Nope. I thought you had formation.
That was formation.
And then what was?
That was the hot topic.
So you just tied him.
I just tied him in because he wanted help on what to do.
So you won in the Navy? Put a sailor's knot in that one.
17 grand is crazy for 3 days. 3 days in jail? Hell no.
17 grand for 3 days.
Well, technically,
because he was 3 days over.
No, he was 10 months over. He just didn't know. He didn't know. That's why they pulled him over and arrested him. He didn't know about the warrant. So he was well past his time.
It was a warrant for him not doing what?
He was a warrant.
He
had a
warrant.
Stop
sign?
Yeah. No, he got caught for what? Because he rolled through a stop sign.
Yeah.
Obviously, when they pull your stuff, they see the warrant and they just arrested him.
And what was the warrant for?
The VA. What was the warrant for?
Yeah.
Actually, that's a good question. It says.
He said he had a warrant that he did not know. What was the warrant for?
I don't say. It just says the warrant was bogus and improper. It didn't say.
So it's a fake warrant.
It's just that's what he's saying, that it is an improper warrant because it doesn't make any sense. But once you've been out for so long, the VA gets all that information. So they're like, well, you didn't let us know anything, but how can he let you know if he didn't know?
Right.
So now he's trying to fight the process in jail. Well, not in jail. He's trying to fight the process to get them to give him his money back.
They say that in the Army, the pay is mighty fine.
Is it?
They give you $100, they'll take back 99.
Yeah, or 17 grand.
Woo!
Jesus.
It's the percentages we're looking at here, not the numbers. Because when you think of it, 17 grand.
Just pulled out of your account, too. No question. Hell no.
God. And he didn't have 17 sitting. He just went to his account one day. Boom.
It's either they pulled that or they just didn't give him any benefits. They told him you won't be getting it until the 17,000 adds up. Whichever case may be, getting the VA to pay you back money is, I sure as hell on earth, because they barely want to give you money.
If I take out a loan, pay you back, and you get my money going again? Because the loan I could pay back.
That's true.
You know what?
Fighting them, especially now.
Yes.
When half of the VA staff is not even at work.
Really? Will you take a lump sum back, Mr. VA? I don't know.
I doubt it.
Can I take a loan and pay you back the 17? Because some people might have rich friends. You know,
Maybe.
I'll pay you back the 17, but I need this, and I'll pay back my friend $100 a month or something like that, opposed to losing a whole 17,000. Hey, it's money going around anyway.
I know.
Stop playing games.
They don't want to give you anyway, so they're
Really?
like, nah, we'll just take it back. We'll add it up for 10 months. It'll be the same.
No. Let's work out a deal. You know, I really wonder if you could do that.
I doubt it.
Right.
Well, maybe. I don't know. Maybe it is an option to pay it back instead of them taking it out. I don't know. Most people don't have and then also with a loan, you have interest.
You may not have a rich friend, but look, a $17,000 loan that's like $200 or something a month. You can still get your benefits and pay back that loan.
That's true, but loan has interest.
No, but with interest, the payment will be principal and interest. You're looking at $200 something a month. I mean, what kind of
what if he has bad credit?
19%, 20%? No.
What if he has a bad credit? You don't know.
Even at
or
bad
he's
credit,
black.
the most he should be paying is bad credit. I would say probably about like 9.5%, 10%. I might be wrong, but I can't see it more than that.
That's true.
You know,
either way, just report everything to the VA.
Report everything, but I'm just saying in this guy's case, you know,
but he's saying that there's no reason for him to pay it back because he's saying it's a bogus warrant anyways.
Right.
So he's just going to fight it and then in hopes that they give it back to him.
But in the case of the person who don't have a bogus warrant and they end up having
an actual warrant.
Yeah, and the military snatch all this money away for you for it adds up to like 17,000, 20,000. I mean, you should be able to
I think maybe. Yeah, I think you should be able to. I don't see why they wouldn't take it, really.
Right. Think of a car note of like, I'm shooting the breeze here because cars are a little more expensive these days, thanks to tariffs. But anyway, think of a car note, and that's roughly $200, $300 a month.
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
That comes with principal and interest.
That is true.
And those are usually the higher notes.
Yeah, but it takes about, 5 years to pay that off?
Pay back 5 years to sit.
Man, keep the damn money. I'm not doing that.
I'd rather pay back 5 years than you snatch the money out and put me in destitution. That could throw someone homeless. That's what I'm looking at.
That is the case. I hope you figure it out, homie, because that's crazy. He is fighting it. Do I see you seeing a judge anytime soon? No. But definitely if he will update, I'm sure he will. So we'll see how it goes.
Good luck, my friend.
Give him back his
Stay
money.
strong. I'm dead serious. One veteran to the next.
Yeah.
Stay strong. All right. Listen, it was a lot of fun hanging out here with you guys again. Once again, I'm going to tell you tell them what they got to do.
Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this with a fellow veteran or somebody interested in joining the military because we cover a array of everybody. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah! Here we go! 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 Here we go!